Jake, your game of the week is what?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's Oregon and Washington. I think it's got the most implications for the college football playoff. I think it's the game that decides whether the Pac-12 will have a team in the college football playoff. You know, honestly, I don't think USC has much of a chance at the college football playoff right now. Obviously, as we were just kind of previewing and teasing, you know, them not being favored in this game kind of speaks to what people think about USC. And obviously, it's on the road for USC in South Bend, but I still think that, you know, just on brand recognition, it is a little bit surprising that SC isn't favored in that game. You would think with the offense and Lincoln Riley and the amount that they're able to produce, they would be favored, but they're not. And so the game of the week to me is Oregon and Washington. And I know that's a pretty straightforward answer. It's pretty easy to say that, but I just think there's so much on the line for these two teams. You know, you look at Oregon, and I maintain that right now, Oregon is the Pac-12's best hope. I'm not saying that Washington is below them by any stretch of the imagination, but nationally, as far as a group of people sitting around a table at the end of the year talking about, well, what team from the Pac-12? Well, I think if Oregon can beat Washington, that's obviously a signature win. That obviously puts them in the driver's seat. And I think if Bo Nix can continue to complete 80% of his passes, he's going to continue to push his way into that Heisman conversation. But you got to win these kind of games. You have to show that you can control an opponent that's just as good as you are. So to me, I think the game of the week is Oregon and Washington. But obviously there are several other games that, you know, are going to be really good.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question it's Oregon and Washington, and I do believe that this is the last best hope for the Pac-12 to get a college football playoff spot. And I think when you look at this game with Oregon and Washington, I think Dan Lanning has to live up to it. I think it's critically important. It's on the road. It is clearly the biggest test of the season to date for the Oregon Ducks, and I think Dan Lanning's built a really good football team here. He's clearly got buy-in from his players. All of his players rave about culture. They're going to wear terrible, ugly paint splatter uniforms, and it's just not going to matter because I think Oregon is playing good football. And if Oregon can win this game, I think they have a real chance to run the table and get into the college football playoff. But I think the bigger question is USC at Notre Dame, because I am not at all convinced that USC is capable of running the table. In fact, I'm convinced they are not. And I think USC gets the benefit of the doubt in a lot of situations. I mean, you look at this line, Notre Dame is -3, which means this is dead even because the home team in Vegas always gets 3 points. USC, who's given up 82 points in the last 2 weeks, is going to South Bend as a 3-point dog. I think USC is going to win this game, and I don't care if it's an absolute blizzard with whiteout conditions. USC's putting 35 points up on the board like they always do, and I think Caleb Williams is the best quarterback in college football. They get the benefit of the doubt. They get the rubber stamp because of the USC brand. I think Dan Lanning and Oregon have to earn it, but I will say these are the two biggest games of the weekend. This is the one weekend where the Pac-12 has the entire spotlight to themselves. And I think a lot of it is that, yeah, the rest of the schedule is pretty flat. I mean, Arkansas and Alabama, I think that's a very interesting game, but is it the magnitude of an Oregon or a Washington? It's not. Is it the magnitude of an SC or a Notre Dame? It's not. Those are two huge matchups, and I think this SC Notre Dame game is critically important for the USC and critically important for the Pac-12. And imagine with everybody walking out the door in the Pac-12 in this Pac-2 versus 10 exiting schools, imagine if the Pac-12 gets a team into the college football playoff. The fight for that money is going to be unbelievable, and I guess at that point it would be settled. But those are the kind of things that are on the line this weekend for the Pac-12. If Oregon and USC lose this weekend, the Pac-12 loses. It's over. I don't see any other team in this conference. And again, with all due respect to the quality that I think, DeBoer and our friends up in Seattle have built, I just don't see the schedule being in favor of Washington running the table and getting into the college football playoff. I think Oregon and USC are the two teams in this league that have the quality, talent, and depth to get into the college football playoff. And that's why, Jake, I think this is the weekend of the year in the Pac-12.
Yeah, and I think Marshawn Lloyd and Bucky Irving are the two guys that are going to make a difference for both of these teams. You look at USC again, being a dog on the road, and you look at this game, it's going to be a 6:30 kickoff. It's going to be cold. It's going to be rainy. Who's to say how bad it'll be in terms of the weather, but it's not going to be a bright, sunny day. Perfect conditions for high-flying offense. And I think that, these games typically come down to who can control the clock. And I look at Oregon and I say, hey, this is a team that has Bo Nix, a dual-threat quarterback that can obviously throw it really effectively, but he's going to need to run in this game because I guarantee you right now, Washington is not going to allow you to just take shots whenever you want to. They are going to take away your best receiver. They're going to force you to check down. And it's just a matter of what you're willing to do. And so I look at Oregon, and I think that's their situation. But I also look at USC, and I think for USC, it comes down to protecting the football. You can't have any kind of bad turnover here. You can't have bad play calling. We need to establish the run early. We need to control the clock, and we need to take advantage of that Notre Dame defense.
But doesn't USC tend to play up? I think USC loves these big environments. I think they have a bunch of, lights, camera, action players, the least of which, obviously is Caleb Williams, but he's lights, camera, action every weekend, which is why I say that. But I think USC plays up, and there are few bigger stages in college football than Notre Dame. And the line here is I am still really surprised when you look at this line. It's -3. The 60-point number is the number to pay attention to. You're talking about weather, and that's all well and good. This game's going way over 60. If it doesn't go over 60, Notre Dame's going to win the game. Period, point blank. And you go back to Duke. When they got Riley Leonard ran all over Notre Dame, he had like 90 yards in that game, I think. Mm-hmm. You look at Plummer doing the job, a journeyman quarterback doing the job on Notre Dame. Like, Caleb Williams is going to have a field day. This is going to be a performance that Caleb Williams, if he wins the Heisman Trophy, will look back and say, that Notre Dame game, that made a huge difference in being a back-to-back Heisman Trophy winner. These are the games you play for. They're going way over the 60 points. I agree the weather will be a factor. I do not, however, think that it is a detriment, not to USC's offense. I'm very curious to see what USC can do defensively in the middle of the field. I'm curious to see how effective the run game for Notre Dame is. And I'm very curious to see what Sam Hartman's able to do in this game. I can't wait. I think it is going to be a thrilling game. I think it is going to be everything that we've wanted. And when you have a big afternoon game like Oregon and Washington and a big evening game like USC and Notre Dame, I think there are few better weekends. And yeah, I think USC is going to boat race Notre Dame.
Well, and for Notre Dame, USC is clearly the best offense they've seen. I think that USC, obviously it's how USC's winning games right now. And Lincoln Riley can, stand in his little media huddles and talk about how the media is too hard on the defense, and Lincoln Riley can make all these excuses for his defense. But the reality of the situation is, if you don't put up 50 points, you're probably not winning a game right now. And that's the reality of the situation. Now, the good news for USC is Notre Dame has no business being in a 50-point game. That's not their offense. That's not what they look like. Like, you obviously, you look at Notre Dame, and sure, they put up 45 against NC State or 41 against Central Michigan, but those teams aren't even in the same hemisphere as SC. So SC's defense might not be great, but I'm just curious if they're going to be good enough this week to get the job done.
It's a good question. I mean, I just think Notre Dame and USC, who's got the more high-powered offense? Is that even a question? Right? The biggest question I have is, will USC turn off for the third quarter? Will USC have that inexplicable lull where they go to sleep? I don't know. I think it is a huge question. I think you look at this game. Does it go over the 60 points?
I don't know.
Wow, you're hesitating.
I have trouble with that. I don't think it's an automatic over the 60. I think that I don't doubt that SC has 30 points in this game. I don't doubt that at all. But I'm not confident that Notre Dame's scoring more than 20 in this game.
Wow.
I think that.
What have you seen from USC's defense?
Well, it's not what I've seen from the defense. It's what I see from the offense. I mean, I'm telling you, they're going to run the ball more this week. And yes, sure, Caleb's going to pass it, and that's obviously where most of the scoring is going to come from. But I'm telling you, they're going to come out and they're going to run the football this week. And I think they need to do that to establish control in this game. This is not, again, as you pointed out, like, this is a big game. This is at Notre Dame. Like, this is a big environment. And I know
it's huge.
It's SC, and they're from Hollywood, and they play every week's a big week. Totally get it. But you can't go on the road to a place like Notre Dame and think you're going to come out in the first possession and just throw it all over the yard and everything's going to go exactly how you think. I'm a big proponent. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they will. Maybe I just don't know Lincoln Riley. But I do think that they're going to come out and they're going to try and run it a little bit, and they're going to try and control this game.
Yeah, I think USC's defense is really vulnerable down the middle of the field, and I think it's going to be very difficult for Notre Dame not to score 28 points in this game. I think Sam Hartman's playing out of his mind. I am not confident that Audric Estime is 100%. In fact, I'm certain he's not.
But let's say they do score 28. I mean, then SC has to score at least, 34, 35?
I think USC is capable of putting up a 40-point number in this game. I think I have lost a lot of confidence in. And again, I look at the Notre Dame defense, and I think J.D. Bertrand's playing great football. Jack Kaiser's playing great football, and I think that you look up and down this depth chart, you have not seen an offense nearly this explosive. The speed that USC brings, I don't know. Where are you guys at? Over under on USC? How important is does the Pac-12 get a college football playoff team? That's the question for me today.
Yeah, I mean, I think if Oregon wins this game, they've got a great chance. Everyone's watching this game. There's no excuses. There's no, it's Pac-12 no, after dark. Like, no, that doesn't exist here. This game was meant for everybody to be watching it. So, like I said, hey, Bo Nix, this is one of those games, right? This was the same thing as the Georgia game where everybody was watching. Don't let us down, right? Go out, perform, get the job done, and hopefully win this thing by 10 points. That's not probably going to happen, but if Oregon could do that, I just don't see after this game how you could mess it up. If you can beat Washington, you can beat anybody in this conference.
You're such a skeptic.
I am a skeptic.
Look, Bo Nix.
Prove me wrong.
Look, Bo Nix, don't you come in here and crap the bad boy.
When's the last time he won anything? Prove me wrong.
Oregon State last year.
Come on, dude.
Oh, wait.
And then I look at, again, this SC game. I look at this is a stat that really concerns me.
Mm-hmm.
Notre Dame, through their first 3 games, is averaging 46 points a game on offense. Last 3 games, it's been 18.3 points. So it's going to be one of two things. You're going to be that same team and have 18 points, 20 points, or you're going to come out, and this is a different thing. It's SC. It's a big game, and we're going to throw up like 35 points, and we're going to battle SC. And they will decide the over in this game. I don't think SC will decide the over-under in this game.
Wow. Comment dump. I have to go find that one. Kevin the Destroyer. Odds are has Notre Dame to win outright and go under. How does I was looking at Vegas Insider last night, and I've been reading like previews and predictions, and it's about 70-something% have it over. But that's 30% of the prognosticating experts who say this game's going under.
Mm-hmm.
And you're pretty convinced it's going under.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you look at what has to happen for it to go over, you're going to need both offenses.
Wow.
To be basically running at full tilt. And so the question is, all right, let's just presume, because I think it's a pretty safe thing, SC's putting up at least 30 in this game. Okay, great. At least 30, which is why I say this isn't about SC. This is about Notre Dame. Is Notre Dame going to compete and stay close in this game offensively? I have doubts about that. You have not been playing good football on offense. You just haven't. And that can turn around, but you've been saying for the last 3 weeks that Marcus Freeman is not to be trusted. That he's not the guy.
Defensively, he's not to be trusted. Offensively, I think they've been actually better than anybody thought they would be. Do you guys understand? Sam Hartman and that sexy-ass beard, what if he puts up a 400-yard performance?
They'll win the game.
Because they have the talent. They have the talent offensively to do that with the way they run the ball. If he puts up a massive 400 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, then he runs for another one. He's in the Heisman race. That's what's on the line here. And again, I just cannot believe that this Notre Dame offense at home under the lights in a game that is as massive gets, swollen, you name it, everything.
I'm so bricked up right now.
Everything you want.
Yeah.
I can't believe Notre Dame's offense comes out and drops a 21-point dud.
Well,
that'd be stunning. Because
what am I going to say though? We couldn't believe some of the other things that Notre Dame did.
Yeah, I think Sam Hartman's coming off of his worst performance at Louisville, and I think that USC can be got. I think USC is going to win this game by 10 points. And I think it's going to be 42, probably 31. I think it's at a minimum a 70-point game.
Yeah, we're just different on it. I don't think Notre Dame's going to score that many points. I think it's like 31-24.
Okay.
You know, that's what I think you're looking at here.
Okay. Hey, I hope you're right. And I hope you're wrong, actually. I would love Notre Dame to win this game. I'm a Notre Dame fan through and through. I don't think it's happening, but I would love to see it. I would absolutely love to see it. Jaron Eccles, what's up, Jaron? I think USC underestimated Arizona. Won't do the same for Notre Dame. SC wins the game even if they have 10 men on every play defensively. Thank you. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. It's fine. Let's see. Harry Austin, is USC really that good? They are.
Yeah.
I think offensively they're one of the elite units in the country.
Yeah.
I think Caleb Williams, until he's dethroned, and Bo Nix has a chance to do that. Michael Penix Jr. has a chance to do that. I think Caleb Williams is at the least the best quarterback in the Pac-12, and I think he very, very likely is the best quarterback in the country. And I think that he is so special. They have so much speed outside. Their running backs catch the ball really well. Their offensive line is athletic. They move. I think, obviously, it's not unlike Patrick Mahomes. I think Caleb Williams does those little things with the way he moves and the way he creates with his legs, and he creates with his legs to throw the football. Like, his first option is never the run. Like, I just think he's that kind of dog, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's that guy that he can just beat you with his mind because he can see it before you can think it. And they're really good offensively, man. They are really good. Shouty says same level game, Texas OU. Oh, I think Oregon Washington is that.
Yeah.
I don't know that, because I think Oregon and Washington are both national powers. I think this year, with the level of quarterback play we're seeing from Oregon and Washington, I absolutely think that Oregon and Washington is OU Texas. Because OU and Texas both could play for a national championship and nobody would really question it.
Mm-hmm.
I think Oregon and Washington are in that same boat.
Mm-hmm.
I think I need to see it one more time from Washington to truly buy in. I have no doubts about Oregon. I think Bo Nix is, again, I'll say, he's playing the best football of his career. I think he's got speaking of dogs, I think he's got a real dog as a head coach. I just think Oregon's really good. Really, really good. And I think when you look at a team and the first thing that goes through your mind is, man, I guarantee you they've all hit buckshots before they hit the field, then you know how good somebody is. That's when you know they hit the Bucky, baby. That's right, Buckshot, the official energy provider of the Monty Show is Bucked Up Energy. I'm telling you that my favorite product that they have is Buckshot. You know, you watch a show every day. We hit it every day. I love it because it's 200 milligrams of naturally sourced caffeine. And a lot of people have been asking me, why do you keep saying natural caffeine? Caffeine's caffeine. Au contraire, mon frere, when you use compounds and chemicals to create the effect of caffeine, that's not caffeine. Naturally sourced caffeine sources make a huge difference. And when you look at the way that Bucked Up makes buckshot, they take that 200 milligrams, they put it in a container with a bunch of brain food, and it's really elite ingredients that make an elite product that does exactly what it says it's going to do. It's going to give you a lift. It's going to give you mental clarity. So whether you hit the buckshot in the morning because you're feeling a little lull, it's Friday, it's been a long week, I just need to get through the day. Hey, hit it in the morning, you'll have a great morning, right? Hit it in the afternoon because you had maybe you had pizza. It's Pizza Friday at the office and you feel a little drag. Hit the buckshot so that every day and every part of your day is the best day. Let's do it right now on the show. Open it up. Nice and chilly because it just came out of the fridge. Down the hatch, my friends. In the description below, we're also giving you free Bucked Up samples. Their shaker cups are the best shakers in the business. There's a link that's going to get you a free shaker, color combination of your choice, and you get 3 free samples from Bucked Up Energy. I would tell you go with a pre-workout. I'm a big believer in the pre-workout. I'm back in the workouts. I'm back in the gym grind, heading for snowboarding season, heading for Hawaii. We're just 5 weeks away from Hawaii now. That's wild that we are just 5 weeks away from Hawaii.
Yes.
That means Thanksgiving is in about 5.5 weeks, which is crazy. So we're in the gym. I love their pre-workout. I love all of their supplements, whether it's endurance, whether it is collagen peptides. Go get your samples and a free shaker cup in the description below right now. Bucked Up Energy, the official energy provider of the Monty Show.